All right, welcome back, y'all. Here's another video. We're going to be taking the P828 by Just Flight in the configuration that it's in. I actually flew that very aircraft. So as rudimentary as it looks, as basic as it is, that is something I actually flew and I learned to fly on. So it just harkens back to, a few moons ago. And we're going to be going from Bolzano, Italy, over to this little grass strip down here on the south side. And pilotage or dead reckoning. So we're just going to be doing pilotage. We're just going to be looking out the window. And this is an easy one to do, I gotta say, because it's a valley and you got giant mountains on both sides. So it's pretty chill in that regards. But without further ado, let's begin. And we are going to be doing it from grass strip to grass strip, which is awesome. Very much enjoy doing the type of flying that I don't get to do while I'm at work. So as you can tell, I have we'll be using the honeycomb. I used it on the last video. I got to make sure the switches are all in the right place because they do work. So I got to make sure everything's correct. Alright, so we got her all tied down over here with the little tow bar. That is an actual tow bar. That's how they look. And I've towed airplanes with that tow bar, which is pretty cool. And we're just going to be going down a corridor. It's a really beautiful flight. Sun is coming out. Let's do this pre-flight.
Clear prop.
Not going to be using the GPS. This GPS is, man, it's old school. And it's not good. It is not good. Acquiring, granted back in the day, of course, it was leading edge, as it always is. When it comes out, it's great. But then as time goes on, you're like, man, that really wasn't that good, huh? All right, so we're about to taxi out. Just a quick update here. The winds are 360 at 7. They're varying tonight at 40. That's quite a bit. Cav OK, 11 Celsius out there. QNH 1031. Let's close this up so we get a little bit quieter in here. And without further ado, let's taxi out. Alright, all checklists are complete. Let's head out on this gorgeous morning flight out of northern Italy. I'd love to be here. That would be awesome. And the whole objective is, of course, to enjoy this stunningly beautiful flight. So we're not going to be climbing too high. Yeah, so yeah, with regards to that, when you're doing some pilotage out there, don't be climbing too high. I did do that once. I still remember it. Student pilot, new guy. And out of South Florida is where I learned to fly. Doing some flights down there, doing some pilotage, just, you know, it's Florida, really easy to navigate. But the only air conditioning you have in GA aircraft is your wonderful altitude. The higher you are, the cooler it gets. Of course, today I'm going to have to get a little bit of cabin heat going here because it's not hot out. But, so I've always been a big fan of climbing to, let's make sure. Altimeter tape jumped over there. 200 feet. I don't know if y'all saw that. That was weird. Yeah, so I was a big fan, you know, climb as high as I can, always. And so there I am doing my my navigating at 8,000 feet, something like that, making our way out there. Not a good idea if you're referencing detailed ground things. Gets a little bit hard to see, so do recommend not cruising too high. We may have to climb due to topography out here as you're making our way down the corridor, and then we'll fly over a lake, and hopefully we'll be able to find our grass strip on the other side. To be determined. I am aware altitude is not correct given the situation. Here's the deal. I had to select a heading select on the panel there in order to steer the aircraft. But yeah, so the altitude wise, I'm just going here at 3. I'm not sure what they do there in Italy, of course here in the US, for VFR purposes. If you're going west right now, it could be at 2,500 or 4,500. Westerly heading would stay in the even plus 500. In today's example, pilotage is kind of a self-correcting problem because I'm just staying in the corridor. So can't mess it up too bad. But if you are going a little bit higher and you're navigating across land that's a little bit more uniform, it does get particularly challenging, which ironically, while Florida is outstanding for learning to fly, it is the flight training capital of the world. You know, you don't have granite to worry about. You're not going to run into any mountains. You got a few tall towers out there, and everybody is well aware of where they are, their locations, and they're also depicted on our charts. But it is very uniform, so it does get pretty tricky to do that navigation. So we're coming out over there, and our little GA grass strip is somewhere around here. So hopefully we'll be able to find that. But we just gotta track along the corridor and enjoy these beautiful, very beautiful shots. Stunningly beautiful shots. Look at that. Oh, so beautiful. My gosh. For the record, I would love to have the opportunity to fly out here. Can you imagine? I mean, look at this. It's so beautiful. It's so stunningly beautiful. If you're a pilot that flies out here, let me know. Because, that's nice. That's real nice. So let's make a quick right turn over here. We gotta go through this valley a little bit tighter. Let's get back in the cockpit here so we do a better job. And we'll zigzag around these hills and then we'll get over the lake. So of course, for the purposes of this, we got the little movie map. A little bit cheating, not exactly doing the old school, you know, just a paper chart in the flight deck, but this is as close as that's going to get. I suppose I could. Let me try that. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I could turn that off. So, yeah, okay. Turn telemetry off. Turn position awareness off. And now you got the real thing. That's right. Oh, that's much better. Aha. Now you're doing it. Very nice. That's really cool. Yeah, I just had that on by default. And I gotta turn that off on my own here as well. So I have that on the iPad as well as here in case I need to quickly reference instead of bringing it up on the screen. Now you're doing it. Let me tell you, there's a big difference between having a little dot there of your own position, own ship, and not having it. There's a big difference. It's a big, big difference. A little bit of a note with regards to this autopilot, extremely rudimentary, very basic. In fact, it's bank only, heading only. It does have a mode for localizer tracking and all that good stuff, but truly basic. It does not have altitude hold. Just Flight implemented the altitude hold function just to make it, you know, a lot more pleasurable to fly. But airplane does not have that natively in the real thing. I will say this though, the Honeycomb's you know, addition of the physical controls that allows for you to physically input things instead of having to click buttons constantly via the screen is particularly the autopilot. I could do the heading bug over here as I'm confident you see me doing all the time. Really nice. It increases the pleasure of flying a lot, and it adds an incredible layer of realism that is very much how it is in the real thing, so that is nice. so apparently we got some restricted airspace over here. Up here is... Oh, I gotta turn off my ship. Keep on forgetting that. It automatically defaults to it on. Alright, so we're gonna miss it. But, very important. So, prominent landmarks and keeping tabs on things, right? So, very, very, very important. You see this little landmass over here, very tiny land sticking out of the mainland. That's that over there. So we got that. Let's turn left a little bit, just a hair, just so we don't, just a little bit farther away from the airspace. As we're coming in here, this is a grass strip. There's no nothing, right? There's no instrument approaches. There's no reference. It's not in the GPS database. So I could have put in the lat long on the GPS and then do kind of a cheat over to the, you know, there via the GPS. However, I'd like to attempt to find it. I haven't been there before, so this is genuinely just first time going in trying to find it. Alright, so we're a beam that little part right there. So we do find ourselves about here. And then coming in over here. And if I'm not mistaken, this is very short. I don't think it's going to give me any data. Yeah, there's no info. This is very short. This is a little bit longer. This is like 2,300 feet, something like that. So we're going to be able to land there, no problem. Then, the very important thing to do here now is to not lose our bearings, okay? So we got this right here, which is this right here. And then we're going to be going in. Once that part right there, we got to head brake right relative to what we're doing, maybe a 90-degree turn to the right, okay? In order to do that, let's start quieting things down. Let's get back to the cockpit. Oh, did I do that? There we go. Alright, so let's do that real quick. That's up. That's down a bit. That's up a bit. Minus a little. Let's get vertical speed down. Because we're screaming. Propeller spinning a bit faster is going to help us slow down. A little bit. And I was concerned about showing you, and I'm in fact a bit too high. So that's not a problem. We just do a left 360 here. Lose some altitude in the meantime. And keep our tabs while we're at it. So that's not a problem at all. Let's go, well, bring up our chart over here. So this is bottoming out. Yeah, the defaults to that. That's where we are, is bottoming out. So we're coming up a beam, so fuel should be right there. Yeah. Not much more altitude to lose. Biggest thing now is, in fact, not the altitude, it's just the speed.
All right, and now we're gonna switch over a third audio source. Let me tell you, this has been interesting. To say the least, this has been interesting. So I did this flight 2 times, and it's not a quick flight. So I ran into the whole camera overheating issue. That made me have to record the B angle, the other angle, the one that records myself. I had to record it chopped up. That makes the editing in post very tricky, because you got to keep syncing things back up. So that gets to be a challenge. I had my primary audio not turned on. That's because of a technical problem that I was having. The side, it's called side tone, when you hear your own voice on the headset. And I was getting a lot of feedback that was not my voice. It was feedback, electronic sound. So I turned it off, And because I turned it off, I couldn't monitor my voice. So then I didn't know that, well, my voice was off. So then for the entirety of the video so far, you've heard my backup audio edited through professional software. So I thought that came out pretty decent. The original recording, the original backup recording is actually quite awful. Then the second flight that I did is in fact not the one that we saw. This was in fact the first one. So I'm not sure where the files went. Honestly, it got a little complicated. I had a lot of files. I have a lot of terabytes in my computer, and believe you or not, I filled it up, and that created its own set of issues. 8 terabytes worth, if you're wondering. So all in all, just getting back into the flight deck here, looking at the own ship there. Keeps popping back up every time we turn it back on, so unfortunately a bit of a cheater mode. I'll look into it, see if I can permanently disable that. That would be something that you'd like to do if you're doing this kind of flying. But this first time coming in here was extremely challenging just because I have not been here, I'm not familiar with the topography. So even though we did a good job here navigating, coming in, good altitude energy management, nothing like a left 360 can't fix, let me tell you. Really great thing to think about, tool in your toolbox. Things aren't looking too good out there, man, left 360, and we call it good. And then coming in here, very beautiful terrain, great, the visibility, the overall ambiance, so to speak, very beautiful, gorgeous, but it does make it for rather challenging to find a little grass strip coming in here. And I struggled quite a bit to find this. The other thing too is that it would be ideal to come in perpendicular to the runway. That way you just enter a left downwind in this case. And that is not what happened because I'm not coming in perpendicular. That would have really assisted in the flight path management as we're coming in, which, like I said, it didn't happen. So the flight path beyond finding the airport is not good. It doesn't look good on this one. But hey, you know what? Sometimes it doesn't look good. This was a genuine first time coming in here, and just have to position myself. You know, had I had a little bit more patience, perhaps I could just, have given myself a little bit more room. But I kind of just wanted to land, so squeezed myself in here, as you will see. So this is the airport. We're flying over it right now. Beautiful grass strip. Beautiful little airport, really. Nice little airport. And you can see the fly-in, the hangars there, the fly-in community. Really cool. So then, from here is the challenge, like what do we do? So energy management, very important. And then not losing your SA under this circumstances right here is super challenging because, again, topography. In the real world would be much easier. Just because you could just swing your head around and keep your eyeballs out there. And if I do a lot of panning with the camera in the flight deck here, if I keep doing this over and over, you're gonna throw up when you watch the videos. So I gotta not do that. And then also you got the sun coming in with the visibility. I just look stunning. I can't get over how beautiful it looks. However, this does create a true real-world complexity of, when you're landing, this is not low visibility. Let's make that abundantly clear. There's plenty of visibility here. But if you are landing with actual low visibility, anything under 3 miles, or perhaps, even more so under 1 mile, and it's sunrise, man, let me tell you, that is a straight-up IMC to the student pilots out there under the hood. You're coming in. It feels like 0-0 just because you're completely blinded. Exciting times, I tell you, when you're shooting these approaches in the real world and, live operations are going on. Just awesome. So there you go. You can see I kind of managed a good base turn, but missed, downwind to base worked out real good. Base to final, absolutely not. I think I tried to give myself a little bit more room and then slow it down, and I think I got some topography there. There's this little hill close to the airport. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm just giving myself a little bit more room, and made that little right turn. That's why I climbed over that little hill. I was not liking the look of it. The second time I came in, of course, the second time was much cleaner. In fact, the replay you're gonna see, funny enough, it is from the second flight that I did in, and you'll see it was quite a bit cleaner than this. But yeah, nothing like pulling a 360 won't help you fix, I can tell you that. So you can see here coming in. Good thing winds are calm, so really not a big deal as far as direction of landing right now. And coming on in, I should say. Perhaps a little hot for sure, but runway is long enough. Trying to get that little bit of that soft field technique going there. Still working on that. Definitely a little bit more finesse, a little bit softer touch is what we should be looking for. And when I came in here second time, again, energy management was much better, and was able to get that soft landing, far better execution of that technique. So thanks for coming along, you guys. Really appreciate it. Great to have you on board and on this awesome, gorgeous flight in northern Italy. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm actually just having a blast doing these edits. Incredible amount of skill necessary to put this together due to the complexity of it. I'm just ABCs, baby steps over here, just learning. So really liking the challenge and putting these together for you as we take these awesome flights all around the world. Enjoy the replay. I hope to see you in the next video. There's some awesome stuff coming up. And as always, until next time, guys, fly safe.